Hello and welcome to The Light. Today I am shedding light on the Utah triple homicide case. Now, I have previously posted the March 6th hearing that Ivan Miller had out of Colorado. I'm going to read through the probable cause document that was submitted to the courts. It's approximately 5 pages long, so it's what was submitted from the Wayne County attorney to the state of Utah. Then I'm going to make a separate video after this readout just because there has really been a lot more details and information released, as well as a timeline to what went on with Ivan Miller, the suspect here, as well as some more information on the victims in this case that I want to get into, and I want to give the appropriate time and consideration to it. So let's get straight into reading the probable cause document. Now, this is coming through the state of Utah, through the Wayne County attorney, Michael Wynn, and they're alleging that Ivan Miller, who was age 22, committed the following criminal offenses in Wayne County, Utah. Ivan is facing 3 counts, and they are all the same charge. They are 3 counts of criminal homicide, aggravated murder, a first-degree felony that occurred on or about March 4th, 2026. Now, part of this charge also involves the fact that it alleges that during this episode that the suspect attempted to commit aggravated robbery, aggravated burglary, or burglary. Now, here is the supporting written statement for counts 2 and 3, which would be representing victims 2 and 3. It says, on March 4th, 2026, Wayne County Dispatch received a call from a subject reporting he had found 2 deceased females, alleged victims 2 and 3, in the area of Coxcomb Trailhead and SR 12, Wayne County, Utah, hereinafter referred to as Scene 1. Ranger Lucas Hodson with the Bureau of Land Management arrived at Scene 1 around 16:25 hours. Ranger Hodgson advised that when he arrived, there were 2 males, later identified as the 2 deceased females' husbands, flagging him from the roadway. While walking around Scene 1, Ranger Hodgson observed 3 spent .45 caliber shell casings and a spent 20-gauge shotgun shell near where the bodies were located. Ranger Hodgson noted it appeared the bodies were possibly dragged to where they were laying, which was in a dried-up creek bed. Ranger Hodgson observed what he later explained were drops of blood from the road to where the bodies were located. Ranger Hodgson observed the female's tracks going uphill above a Buick, as well as a set of unidentified tracks. A Buick Regal, Utah license plate Z474GX, was located concealed under a tree in the area. While walking around the Buick, Ranger Hodgson observed a live 20-gauge shotgun shell behind the vehicle. During the initial investigation at Scene 1, it was reported that a 2022 white Subaru Outback, Utah license plate U560YF, was missing from the scene. This vehicle was reported as belonging to one of the deceased females and was reported to have been driven to the location where the 2 were hiking. The next part of the written statement is regarding victim 1 and count 1. So count 1 states, it was later discovered the Buick that was located at Scene 1 belonged to an elderly female, alleged victim 1, that resides at 398 West SR 24 in Lyman, Utah, hereinafter referred to as Scene 2. Wayne County deputies conducted a welfare check at this address and observed blood in alleged victim 1's front room and drag marks leading out of the home. Deputies advised that they located a deceased female in a cellar located under a shed on the property. Deputies advised that it appeared the female was moved using a wheelbarrow. Deputy Cook with the Wayne County Sheriff's Office advised that he had conducted a license plate reader search on both the Buick Regal and the Subaru Outback. Deputy Cook advised that the last LPR read that he had on the missing Subaru was at 10:32 hours on March 4th, 2026, traveling eastbound near Bicknell, Utah. Deputy Cook advised that the last LPR read on the Buick was on February 27th, 2026, at 14:49 hours in Loa, Utah. Law enforcement officers spoke with the husband of one of the alleged victims who owned the white Subaru. The husband was able to use an application on his phone to track the current location of the key fob for the white Subaru. Specifically, the key fob for the white Subaru was located in the area of Main Street and Hallmark Drive in Farmington, New Mexico at approximately 21:13 hours on March 4th, 2026. Law enforcement was then advised that the white Subaru Outback had been located on LPR near Durango, Colorado. Law enforcement in Colorado located the white Subaru in Pagosa Springs, Colorado. The vehicle was observed at a Phillips 66 gas station located at 642 San Juan Street in Pagosa Springs, Colorado, where a white male, approximately 6 foot tall, with dark, shaggy hair, wearing a red jacket and khaki pants, was observed with the vehicle. The white Subaru was later found in the abandoned area of 449 Pagosa Street in Pagosa Street, Colorado, and the suspect fled on foot. Law enforcement officers in Colorado secured the white Subaru and took photographs of the outside of the vehicle and the inside of the vehicle's contents that were visible through the windows. A cell phone was plugged into a phone charger and appeared to be in the center console of the vehicle. Officers also observed a magazine to a handgun and what appears to be a .45 caliber ammunition in the single stack magazine, and what appeared to be a 20 gauge shotgun shells. This ammunition visibly matches ammunition found on scene at the Coxcomb crime scene, scene 1. The next portion of the written statement goes into discussion of the suspect. At around 2:45 hours on March 5th, 2026, law enforcement was advised by officers with Pagosa Springs, Colorado, that they had the suspect in custody following a field contact in the vicinity of the abandoned Subaru. They identified him as Ivan Miller, date of birth September 22nd, 2003, with an Iowa driver's license. Law enforcement was advised that after being taken into custody, they located a Rock Island brand 1911 model .45 caliber pistol on Miller's person. Law enforcement was advised that post Miranda warnings, Miller explained that he had hit an elk in Loa, Utah a few days ago, sold his truck to a tow company, and stayed in an area hotel for a few days. Miller admitted that he had unalived someone and stole a car. Law enforcement was advised that a Cache Valley bank card belonging to alleged victims 2 and 3, 2 debit cards, a credit card, an identification card belonging to another alleged victim were located in Miller's wallet following his arrest. Law enforcement was contacted by Special Agent Rick Jebeneist, apologies for saying that last name probably horribly wrong, with the FBI in Pagosa after having conducted a second interview with Miller. Law enforcement was advised that after signing a Miranda waiver, Miller said that he stayed the night in the back shed at scene 2 after coming to Lyman, Utah. Miller advised that he saw a Buick LeSabre at that location and watched the old lady drive away. Miller then entered her home and waited for her behind a door and shot her in the back of the head with the 1911 while she was sitting down watching television. Miller said he cleaned up the scene the best he could, dragged her to the outbuilding and further down into the basement where he ultimately left her. Miller said he grabbed his stuff and took the car, but he did not like the car and wanted to find a different vehicle. Miller said he parked the vehicle near scene 1, where he saw a younger woman and an older woman get out of a white Subaru. Miller said that he went up to them and shot the younger one in what he thought was the chest, and she went down. Miller then shot the other one twice in the body, but that she was still moving. Miller then stabbed her multiple times in, quote, the heart. Miller admitted he dragged both alleged victims at scene 1 to a ditch and laid them next to one another. Miller said he did it because he needed money. Miller said that he took their credit cards and used the older woman's to buy gas. Miller said that he took their credit cards and used the older woman's card to buy gas. Miller said that his intent was to get back to Iowa and came to Pagosa to get gas when he saw the police officer and drove to the back of the building where the vehicle was found and stayed in the area to see if he could get his car back. Miller confessed that a quote had to be done, but he did not like to do it. Miller described one of his alleged victims as having blue or purple hair and that they were, quote, lesbians. Miller claimed that all of the alleged victims were shot with a 1911 handgun. When asked what he had done with the knife he had used, Miller produced the knife during the interview. The document was dated on March 5th, 2026, and signed by Michael Wynn, the Wayne County attorney. I do want to be able to share the names and photos of the victims. There's 86-year-old Margaret Oldroyd. Now, unfortunately, I do not have a photo here to show. I have been scouring all over for one, and if somebody does have one, if you could please share it, I would be grateful for that. I have been looking all over for one. Next, as shown here, this is 34-year-old Natalie Graves. Now, Natalie Graves was one of the victims who was on a hike. She is the niece of the next victim. This here is Natalie's aunt, 65-year-old Linda Dewey. Now, I will have more to share about these victims to shed light on who they were in my next video, so I hope that you will join me to follow up there on that. But I did want to give a name and face to those to recognize them. So, and just to be clear, if it wasn't made clear from the probable cause documents, there is absolutely no relationship or no known history between Ivan Miller and any of those who were deceased. These women did not know him. They were completely unrelated, innocent victims who were just going about their normal daily lives and their routines. A woman who went home to sit down and watch television, two women who went to go out and enjoy nature and a beautiful trailhead in Utah, family members who went to go for a hike, all of them attacked by a man who said that he did it out of convenience because he wanted their vehicles and money to be able to get back to Iowa, all because he wrecked his vehicle by hitting an elk. Now, there is more to that story, and again, I will get into that in my next video. Thank you for tuning in. What happens in the dark will always come to the light. Remember to be safe, be kind to one another, always look out for your neighbors. And as always, I will see you all in the next one. Please make sure to follow me if you haven't already. Tap that heart button. It greatly helps out my channel. And as always, I will see you all in the next one.